Essentially means sacrifice, hustle, earn more money, pay off debt so that you put yourself in a better situation. That's literally the antithesis of what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's saying, oh, I have kids, so I have to have debt. I have no choice but to be into debt and no choice but to have all these bills that I really just can't handle. No, that's BS. If you want to, you and your wife, if you're married or whatever's going on, I don't know if he's married or not, can work together.
He doesn't seem happy about it.
Well,
before you say that you're not in debt, I don't mean everybody, but I feel like there's this comparison game of like, how are these people affording to do these things? How are they affording to shop all the time? How are they affording to go on vacations and have these huge houses and these nice cars? It's because they're in debt, okay? Because the only debt my husband and I have is our house and our student loans, and we live like super frugally on a budget. And then I see people who have probably the same debt who live like very lavishly. And you know, it's not like comparison is the thief of joy, but we all have to remember that like a lot of these people that are living these lives are in debt. So stop comparing yourself when you have less debt or no debt to someone who is in debt to live the way that they are. Like just the moral of the story is to stop comparing yourself.
This seems like it was more about her opposed to other people.
I can see that.
Yeah, because I mean, my thing is this, like, why are you hyper consumed about how people are living their life? Like, that's one thing I never listen. Like, when social media first came out, like when I was in high school, like Facebook was big, and I kind of get how people can feel kind of like insecure. They're watching other people live like the time of their life and they're like struggling, especially now, like a lot of people are struggling. They won't tell you, but it's one of those things that like, you just have to realize like, who realistically like just shouts out all their problems? Like nobody. That's not like, unless they're like gotten to the point where they're just completely cooked and they just like lose it. I'm just saying, where they just like lose it.
Yeah.
Most people are just gonna like smile in your face and then cry in the car.
Yeah, no, listen, I do agree with you that she is trying to soothe herself.
Yeah, it sounds like she's soothing herself. This doesn't seem like it was for anybody.
But the thing is, it's not like she's wrong. That's the thing.
No, she's absolutely right.
Yeah, so her point is still valid. Like,
Yeah.
I see it myself, and I'm not gonna get too detailed because I don't want to talk about anybody personally. So
Yeah.
I'll speak generally. And I've told this story, you've heard it so many times, but maybe you guys haven't. But there was a time where I looked at people who drove fancy cars differently than I do now. That's not to say that everyone who drives a nice car can't afford it or is drowning in debt to drive that car. I'm not saying that. There are people out here that can afford things. Trust me,
Yeah.
I know people too. We know people too who make a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Who can afford that car?
A lot of money.
So it's not everybody. But I've come to the point now just in my life where I realize that probably the majority of those folks who are driving these nice cars are paying like $1,000 a month for them.
Ugh.
It's like they have a second mortgage on their car just because they want something nice instead of driving.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like how they say people are house poor, they're car poor.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see this. You'll see people who have a nice car and then you pull up and it's like, dang, you live in a Jack in a Box.
Facts. And I will raise you this. I'd say being house poor is better than being car poor. That's probably an obvious statement. Because with a car, I mean, I don't want to insult your guys' intelligence, but obviously a car is a depreciating asset.
Yeah.
So you're driving around in a depreciating asset. At least the house is hopefully appreciating a little bit. And it's providing, you know, a little more value than your car will. I mean, a car gets you to and from work or whatever.
Yeah.
But your house, you know, you can protect you from rain and lightning. But my point is like, yeah, a lot of people she's talking about that go on all these fancy vacations that you see on Instagram, driving these fancy cars, living in these big old houses, McMansions, or just even, you know, regular houses or whatever. A lot of them are in debt to get it. Now here's the thing too. One last thing I'll say and we can move on. I don't want to beat this to death, but
next.
How does everyone have so much money?
Here's the issue.
Oh, Lord.
Being in credit card debt, being financially responsible with a high-paying job, or having generational wealth and having your parents pay for everything, it all looks the same. So it looks like everyone has money, but in reality, it could just be credit/debt. It could be some people aren't struggling. That is the reality. Some people are okay. Or some people just have a way better support system than you. So like the problem is it all looks the same. And if you're just sitting there looking at everything and being like, wow, everyone has money when you're struggling, like that is the problem. So don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Do your own thing. Know your finances in and out.
Whoa. I'm pleasantly impressed with this diagnostic he just gave. Yeah. No, whenever people do stitches, I'm always like, oh, stitch. Meanwhile, I'm over here reacting to video.
Right.
So it's like, dude, relax. But yeah, I'll let you go first, but I like what he said, honestly.
No, I mean, he definitely said some insightful things. I think the only thing I would probably disagree with when he's talking about generational wealth, because I'm like, they're in a completely different class. Generational wealth is people who have money, who have money, who have money.
That's like old money.
That's why I said that they're in a different class.
Yeah, you're right. Let's take a class below that, because you're right.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said that's the only thing I disagree with.
Well, I thought he was talking about like the folks, like we went to high school. Well, we're a little bit older, different ages, but you might not know this guy. I'm not gonna say his name anyways.
Yeah.
But anyways, I went to high school with this guy.
Yeah.
And there is like old money where like they ride horses and they bet on horses and they play cricket.
Yeah.
And they live in like gated.
That's what I'm talking about. I said I can tell the difference between them, but everything else he said was fact.
That's different, okay? But then there is also a certain subset of people where their grandpappy handed down to their mammy and their mammy handed money down to them. And I know those people personally where I know a guy, I went to high school with him. He went to Harvard when he graduated high school.
Oof.
Didn't pay a penny for Harvard. Why? Because his parents paid for it. His father had some high power job. I don't know what he did. And he lived close by where I live. And trust me, we're not in the same neighborhood. But like you drive up the neighborhood and you go like 10 minutes down the road, you'll be where he's at. And his parents' house Huge. Like, he lives an all-American lifestyle. So if I saw him on social media with a nice fancy car or something,
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that he can afford that car.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie Dope at the end of it? And the guy has, I guess the guy had to go get a handbag for some reason. I don't remember why. And the guy was like, what's the difference between, or how do you know this handbag is real? I forget, I'm butchering it. But the point was, he said, depending on who's wearing the handbag, you decide in your mind if it's real or not.
Ooh, that's a bar. I like that.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I like that.
It's like if you see a dude that looks like a rapper, no offense, rocking like an AP or something, you're probably gonna be like, okay. Whereas you see some old dude with a suit and a briefcase, you might be like, okay, it's probably real. It's just about our perception.
That actually brings up a good point. Because I was recently reading, so 50 Cent has a book, it's called like I think it's Work Smarter, Work Harder. Some of that extent.
You gotta shout it out right.
I mean, I can't pull it up right now.
Sorry.
But anyway, in the book, 50 Cent gives this example where he's going to like a studio in New York, right? And he has a nice car. And he pulls up to the studio in a nice car. And one of the people who are like in the studio, who have access to the studio that he doesn't know is like Jam Master Jay, right? And Jam Master Jay walks up to his car, puts his hand on it because he thinks that he's one of his rich friends, right? So at this point in time, 50 Cent, like I said, he's not well known. People don't really know him, but like he strikes up a conversation with him because of his car, because he's like, okay, well, I assume like if you're in this area and you're driving that car, you must be someone. That's why I mistook you for someone else. And at that point in time, 50 Cent didn't have access to go to the studio. So then when Jam Master Jay is like, all right, yeah, I'm about to walk in the studio. Sorry for tapping your car because I thought you were my guy. And 50 Cent's like, all right, I'm gonna come with you. And then what happened was Jam Master Jay was like, all right, bet, yeah, come with me. But it's because he was in the car.
Yeah.
If 50 Cent was driving like a bum car, a beat down car, number one, that interaction would have never happened. And then number two, Jam Master Jay would have never trusted him to even walk through the building.
No.
So it just goes to show you that like having that perception of him being like upper class gave Jam Master Jay some sort of trust in him to be like, okay, well, he must be good because he already got money. Like I don't have to worry about him stealing stuff. So
man, dude, this story is so I'd say that was a great story, by the way.
thank you. It's from 50 Cent.
Well, right, which the book you don't remember.
I have it on Audible, whatever. Shout out to 50.
Shout out to 50 Cent. So this is a situation like a lot of like real estate agents who work in like Beverly Hills, all these places.
Yeah.
They'll rent very nice cars to go to show homes to their clients, even if they don't got it like that yet.
Yeah.
Because they understand the importance of what you said, that perception. And they're gonna work their way to being able to afford that car.
Yeah.
So and that's what I was gonna say a second ago. So that's also what I want to really quickly say is that first of all debt is not bad debt.
Yeah.
Debt is just a tool, and it's how you use it that matters. So I'm a debt phobe. I hate debt, but I understand that debt is a tool. So I use debt to buy a rental property because I needed leverage. You might use debt to go to school to get a degree to become an engineer and pay it off. It's debt, but it's used for a good reason, obviously. Versus debt that you're like, okay, we put $10,000 to go on a Carnival cruise. You know what I mean? Like there's levels to it. It's differences. So but I like what he said, man.
No, you're saying fact.
77% of Americans are in debt, according to Google, and the average debt is 50.
One of my biggest pet peeves with financial planners and advisors, whether or not they're professional or amateur ones here on TikTok or on blogs or whatever, is that they treat credit card debt like a sin, right? Like a personal failing.
I mean, that is.
And they give the same advice, which I can't believe people pay for, because to me it's like obvious and you could find literally everywhere, which is pay off your credit card balance every month. If you can't, make sure that you stay under 30% of your credit limit. Invest in EFTs and index funds. Make sure that you have an emergency fund of at least $1,000 and ideally 3 months like salary. Like, we know this. Everyone knows this. You are not enlightening anybody. Listen, I've had a budget for the last 15 years that I've dutifully followed. I bought like one TV in the last 15 years. I haven't left the country to go on vacation in the last 15 years. I bought one laptop in that time.
Okay.
The biggest personal luxury I've allotted myself are my Sony headphones, which I kind of need for work anyway. But what did I do? Well, I made the mortal sin of deciding to have children, in my 20s. Big mistake. Big mistake. And also, I guess, not being a doctor or a lawyer or some sort of entrepreneurial hustler. Because I can tell you, as someone who is dutifully budgeted, as someone who has a nice stable job, budgets don't make money appear. They don't increase your income. And sometimes you just have to go into credit card debt. And this idea that it's a choice, and obviously some people they need financial.
So he definitely said a lot. He definitely seems like a bowl of fun. Like if I want to have a fun time, I'm definitely gonna invite him.
He's just upset about all this online advice that comes from people like me, unfortunately. I get it, because everyone says, he said EFTs, he meant ETFs, by the way. But anyways, what are you saying?
This is what I have to say. Because listen, I'm not completely against what he's saying. And I don't feel like it's completely incorrect where he's saying a lot of financial advisors give a lot of basic advice, right? I've actually worked in the financial kind of hemisphere. So I understand. But here's the thing. As someone who has worked in kind of in that kind of realm, most people don't know that stuff. Most people do not know that stuff. Like the people who care enough about it know stuff like that. The people who don't care enough about it know absolutely nothing about it. When I mean nothing, nothing, know absolutely nothing about it. And that's why they have financial advisors. They're not meant for you, they're meant for them.
Yeah, I mean, that is 1,000% correct. I don't even need to add to it, really. I mean, I could give examples and go on this long diatribe. I'm not going to do that because I want to spend my time that I'm talking to you lovely people about the fact that he said you essentially have to have credit card debt if you have kids. I wholeheartedly, you think you agree with that?
No, I was gonna say that's BS.
That's bullshit. Bro, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Dave Ramsey. I bring him up because he has this it's a program. It's called, I've never been through it, Financial Peace University. And I think there's 7 steps, 7 baby steps. And it's meant for everyday Joes and Jills to go through to get themselves out of debt and live a life that's more free. And his whole mantra is live now like no one else so that later on you can live like no one else. Which means that you have to sacrifice early on and do things you don't want to do. He has all these phrases he uses. But essentially means sacrifice, hustle, earn more money, pay off debt so that you put yourself in a better situation. That's literally the antithesis of what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's saying, oh, I have kids, so I have to have debt. I have no choice but to be into debt and no choice but to have all these bills that I really just can't handle. No, that's BS. If you want to, you and your wife, if you're married or whatever's going on, I don't know if he's married or not, can work together.
If he doesn't seem happy about it.
Well, I don't know. He does seem
He does not seem happy.
He seems agitated.
And I would be, listen, he hasn't been on vacation for 15 years. I'd be mad too.
Very good point.
15 years.
You know what? We don't know all the details that are going on here. There's probably more to the story.
Definitely.
That's what's going on. There's more to this story. But
I mean, the other thing too is if you've been doing something for 15 years and living like that, you didn't understand that point like year 5 or something like that. You gotta change it. Like, I'm sorry. Listen, I understand life is hard, and listen, life's been hard for me too. But at some point in time, you gotta take accountability, man. Like, 15 years without a vacation, like,
well,
and listen, I'm one of those people. I used to not believe in taking vacations at all. Like, if I was in a bad spot, I'm like, yo, I'ma just work, put my head to the ground, just work. But there's a certain part in your life where you realize that if you do that, not only do you lose focus, but I mean, you're also gonna potentially put yourself in a worse state of mind. So I mean, it's good to take those little mental breaks. And I'm not talking about like those little snowflowers that like do like minimum work and then want to go on vacation all the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about people that actually like grind, who work hard, who like need a break, because everyone needs a break. That's why like most companies have like vacation days, because they realize that people do need that mental break.
Of course. And again, I'll say this. I'll just end this video with saying I think there's more to the story, because again, I think that no matter, unless you're like making, I don't know, 30% of the average income in the US or something, and you're living in actual poverty, then I think it may be probably a little different in that case. But in that case, there's some other stuff you got to work out. So let's talk about the average person in the US, okay?
Yeah.
If you're the average earner in the US, you can live your life comfortably and not have to have a credit card. That's a true statement. It just is. So
I mean, the main thing is that you have to, because I think here's the thing, and I've had discussions with this, right? I used to have this one friend, who's a good female friend of mine, very cool. When it came to debt, she was always trying to find ways to not pay it. So she would go to like these people that are like, oh, I heard that you can fix my credit card debt, you could do all this. And it would always end up the same way. A couple of months, it would go good, and then you stop paying that credit card person to fix your debt, and then what happened? You're stuck with the debt again. It's a little bit less, but you still have to pay off the same thing. You're doing all the time that she spent doing all these mystical ways and magical ways of not paying off debt. If she just would have just saddled up and paid off the debt and made a plan, it would have just already been gone. Yeah. But instead, it just keeps accumulating, because you're not changing anything. You're not changing your habits. You're not changing, because that's the other thing. It's way easier to try to make more money opposed to like trying to cut back less. Like cutting back less, because the thing is with inflation, things almost never come back down, ever. So you're gonna just keep getting stuck in this cycle. And listen, I've been through it, because there's been times where I tried to buy a car and then COVID hit and it went up by 10,000. So I get it.
Yeah, I think that's the main point there, that you can avoid credit card debt because you can earn more money. And there's other things you can do as well. I'm specifically saying credit card debt because I understand like most people are gonna have a mortgage. Okay? Most people can't afford to buy a house outright. I get it. Most people, or a lot of people, will have student loans. Although I think now if you don't have one, you should be wise enough to do it the right way. A lot of us already have it, whatever. Okay, fine. But credit card debt, you can control that. And a lot of it comes to mindset. Like your friend or your ex-friend or whatever she is mindset and a lack of education. So he's wrong. Everyone does not know this, like you said. A lot of people need to hear this information.
And if you are one of those people that need to hear it, also read a book called Set for Life.
Yes, by Scott Trench. Great book.
Made $9,000 last month. Why did you not cut a check for $1,342? IRS is not someone we f with.
No.
But it was accepted, so you filed it. But why? Why have you not cut a check for this?
Because I owed my roommate about $1,000. I owed my parents $2,000. So they come first for the IRS, and then the IRS.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know who lied to him. Somebody lied to him.
The IRS, man.
I hear you. It's coming up soon.
Why'd you owe your parents money? Why'd you owe your roommate money?
Because I only made that's why. Okay, so I've paid my roommate back. I have to pay my parents back.
Geez, what is this? ALNet. So I recognize that. That's student loans.
Oh yeah.
All day, isn't it?
Oh yeah. That's the bane of my existence right there.
Oh, did you get a degree?
Yeah.
What was your degree in?
Biology.
From?
Old Dominion University.
And you're not even using it?
Nope.
Yeah, sounds about right. So $50,000, probably going to range from 3 to 5%, I'm assuming, typically, the federal student loans.
I think it's it's capped at 6.
3 to 6%?
Yeah.
4 to 6%?
I think it's about 4%, 4.5. There's a bunch of loans in there.
Yeah, there are.
Of course.
And you can't see what the interest rates are because it's under deferment. However, at the end of August, beginning of August, some point in August, you're going to start paying these. You're going to have a minimum monthly payment of probably $500, $550.
Mm-hmm.
The parents, they're paid off though, right? $2,000?
Parents are not paid off. The roommate's paid off.
$9,000 or what was it? $9,000 is a lot of money. Where did it all go, dude? Where did it all go? You couldn't cut a check for $2,000 to pay off the parents fully. What's owed to the parents?
$2,000.
Still?
Yes.
What was it?
It was just expenses to get me rolling.
But it wasn't more than $2,000.
No.
I thought you said you
No, it
paid them
is
back, which is why you did not pay the
I
IRS.
paid my roommate back.
Why in the possible world are we still spending money on a credit card of which we are losing $100 of interest, of which we are trying to pay off, of which we still owe our family the IRS and all these other things? If we have all these other things, why are we spending money on a credit card? I do not understand when we're losing interest.
Not doing it anymore. I've cut them up.
Good lad. Balance is $6,662.78, $164 minimum monthly payment. Interest rate 18%, and you've lost at the time of this statement $400 in interest this year, which means that at this point you probably lost like $500, $550, something like that.
Okay, so
Credit card interest rates are criminal, bro.
yeah, I mean they should definitely be illegal. Yeah, I mean this just goes to show that a lot of people, even though you can make a good amount of money, that doesn't mean you know how to manage a good amount of money. I'm not exactly sure why he would want to pay off the IRS. I mean I would do that first.
Yeah, people don't understand, I don't think, the severity of Uncle Sam. And when it comes to taxes, they don't play around. Listen, the whole war was fought to create a whole new country because of taxes. I mean, that's not the only reason, but that was probably the biggest reason. I'm just saying. Taxes, the government does not play around. So yeah, I would, if I was him, I would pay the IRS back expeditiously.
Immediately.
And your parents can wait, especially, they love you, Johnny. You have time. Don't worry about it. You get them. You get them back.
I mean, listen, the main good thing is that at least he's making money. So it's obvious that he has the ability to make money, because there are people that make not even a third of what he makes.
Right. And you just reminded me what I wanted to, let's have something else to say.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the biology degree. I don't want to crap on anybody's degree. Even in the last 10 years, maybe, I would hope. I don't know. I haven't paid attention because I haven't been in college in the last, all right. Well, I just told you guys something, but point is, point is, I haven't really, and I pay my student loans off, thank God. So I don't even think about that anymore. But I'll tell you this, if I have kids or when I have kids, please trust and believe that, I know I say this now, I talk to people that have kids, are like, oh, good luck when you actually have the kids. Yeah, kiss my, what. Listen, if you want to go to school, to college, which I'm all for, you can do that. We have a plan. And that plan has to be, you go to school for a degree that you can show me data has a very high likelihood of you getting a job when you graduate that pays you enough to pay that degree off.
Biology
pay that debt off.
Is a bad degree though?
Biology?
Yeah.
As just a bachelor's, a lot of times it is. Because normally when you go get a biology degree, you're not
you got to get a higher
mostly, because you're going to end up going to medicine or something else. You don't really graduate and then go work in the lab. Some people do.
You know what I mean? That
mean?
actually makes sense, because I think my roommate was a biologist.
Yeah, a lot of biology. Like,
Damn.
well, I'm not talking crap. It's just like, just that alone is really not normally enough, honestly. So it's like getting a degree in psychology.
Oh yeah, because then you gotta get the higher levels in order to get a job.
If you want to do something with you get money, you got to, yeah, exactly. Go get get licensed as a social worker or clinical psychologist or something more than just the bachelor's in psychology.
Yeah.
Those are, so that's why I'm like, and to have $50,000 worth of debt for it. And you heard what he said, he's not using his degree.
Yeah,
so,
like most people.
Like most people. But that's my point though. Most people go to school because I guess we were just told to do it. But unless you're going to school with the actual plan, I don't think it's worth it.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, just from taking a look at him, he seems like he's probably like an older millennial.
Yeah, looks like it.
So, I mean, let's just be real. Millennials were sold a sack-ish.
A bill of goods?
A bill of goods. I remember when I was younger, so I'm kind of like in the middle. I'm like a zennial. But I remember like back in the day, they would be like, all you need is a degree. All you need is a degree.
Yeah.
You could sign up. You can get anything. All you need is a degree. And they would push that to heaven and earth. They would push that. They would push that. And then now, like, I mean, when you finally get it, you don't realize how tough the actual job market is, and the fact that they don't even care about that at all.
Yeah.
Like a master's is barely moving.
And it's really just in white collar. That's where the issue is.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need it in blue collar.
You don't really need it in blue collar. Really, in my mind, and I know this is not actual facts. I'm just speaking generally. Like in my mind, if you're not going to school for a professional degree, I don't know you really need it. Like I always say the same ones. Anything in STEM.
Yeah.
Anything in STEM, and then also like, is healthcare considered in STEM? Science, technology, engineering, math. No. Anything in like healthcare. Like if you're going to become a,
nurse, doctor.
Yeah, anything. I like anything like that. Aside from those things, anything that's like liberal arts related. Again, I'm not trying to crap on anybody's degree.
Well, I mean, the whole arts is cooked with AI. That whole art department is cooked.
Listen, I am going to be optimistic for once in my life and say that that AI is going to aid and help artists not take over their job. That's what I'm seeing it
Well,
as.
go talk to them about it. They pissed.
Well, right now, listen,
they probably fight you over that.
right now there's a lot going on. There's a lot of change. People are uncertain. That's how people,
They'll fight you with a paintbrush.
that's fine. Make music, make art. But over time, I do think that AI is going to be a tool that artists use to help make their. Now, I get if you're like a classical artist and like you said, you do.
Yeah.
But then again, if that's your thing, the AI is not coming for you unless AI robots painting it.
Well, you have to think AI, a lot of times what they do is that they take other people's image and then they kind of remix it into their own image, and they kind of that's the reason why a lot of them have an issue with it, because they're essentially stealing it off of everything from the internet and then compiling and making, you know.
I understand. We're getting off topic, but I understand. Anything else to say on this?
No, actually, guys, I'm gonna say stay out of debt.
Oh yeah, I hate that unless it's used for very, very, very wisely. So yeah.
All right, decision makers. If you like debt, leave a like, leave a comment. If you hate debt, just like I do, leave a like, leave a comment. All right, decision makers.